There's a lot of resources to gather in Hades 2, and a lot of tools to gather them with. But for a while, one of them eluded me. Bronze. That was particularly problematic because I wanted to unlock the skull and play with it. Turns out the skull's an absolutely awesome weapon and is slowly creeping up the list towards one of my favorites. But to use it, you're going to need bronze. And I searched everywhere in Erebus. From the very start, all the way down to the deepest depths of Tartarus. Could not find bronze anywhere. And that's because bronze isn't in the underworld. It's in the city of Ephyra, which you access in the overworld after completing a series of incantations and unlocking several game systems. And so today I'm going to go over that, because if I had this question and it took me a while to figure it out, I'm assuming a few other people do as well. If you want to know more about Hades 2, or you're just enjoying the game and want to see my progress, do be sure to get subscribed, leave a like while you're down there. For now, let's get into things. So, first up, to access the city at all and start gathering bronze, you need Permeation of Witching Wards. This allows you to defeat the ward, locking the gateway which bars your entryway to the surface. You're going to need 3 materials for this. A cinder, which comes from the first boss Hecate, moly, which is gathered throughout Erebus, and a shadow. Shadow is not naturally found. You need to come over to the Alchemy tab and use Shadow Extraction. So in addition, you'll need to gather ash, psyche, and faded fabric. After that, you'll unlock the entrance and you'll be able to go up onto the surface for a very, very short amount of time. And by very short, I mean you constantly take escalating damage over time. But if you're able to gather some resources, bronze included, you can unlock Unraveling a Fateful Bond, which then allows you to persist on the surface for longer. Just to show you, you come across here, all the way over to the second area. This is where you'd normally enter down into Erebus. This is where you go up to the city to get some bronze. So let's do that, fight our way through a few waves, and find that bronze that we're looking for. So once you're done fighting through an area, remember you need the pickaxe equipped. You'll find bronze just like this. Hit your right bumper, or whatever the similar keyboard button is, to collect the bronze. You get 3 hits, that means 3 bronze each time. And then you'll have to return to the city to harvest more. Remember, if you don't have the incantation that allows you to last longer, you will be on a very strict timer here, but if you have the incantation, you're totally fine to take as long as you need. Bronze is a very important resource. First of all, it allows you to stay on the surface for extended periods of time, thus exploring an entirely new area of the game. In addition, it unlocks the fishing rod, and you know, fishing's been a core part of Hades since Hades 1. You should absolutely get doing that as soon as possible, and make sure those fish don't get away. In addition, it also unlocks the Argent Skull, which is rapidly becoming one of my favorite weapons. Oh, and you need it to enhance certain aspects, such as the aspect of Melanoe on the axe. So because the resources used for this and many more things, you should seek to unlock it as soon as you're able. That said, you're not going to be able to just go to the surface right from the start of the game. It takes some time to unlock the requisite incantations, and even beyond that, it takes some time to gather enough bronze and just get used to the surface in general. So don't despair if you struggle a bit at first. With that said, I'm curious, what are some of the other areas of Hades 2 where you're struggling with? Something that could fit into a short guide like this one, or possibly a longer, more in-depth video. If you have general questions, then check out my Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Hades 2, which I'll link up in the card and down below. And before I go, I'd like to thank my patrons and channel members for their continued support. I love games like Hades 2, and I like being able to make content on them, share my experiences, answer questions that I myself struggled with. And I can only do that due to your direct financial support, because sometimes these videos don't do well in the YouTube algorithm. And so if you want to see more of this, link to support is down below. Also, thanks to everyone who watched to the end. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.